Hello and welcome to this tutorial in Blender. Today we're going to be modeling a chair. So we're just going to learn a few tools. It won't be the most sophisticated chair in the world, but it's really about getting into edit mode, face select, selecting edge loops, using loop cuts and extrusion. So yeah, let's get into it. We're going to just bypass the Blender screen. We're actually going to start with our default cube, our beloved default cube. So I am going to, let me turn on my keys here so we can see what is going on with my shortcut. All right, so you guys will be able to see down here in the right some of the keys that I'm using. So we're going to go ahead and scale this down. So we're going to start with creating the seat, where you put your bottom on the seat, the chair seat. And so this cube is a little too tall for that. So let's go ahead and we're going to use, we can use our tools over here. You can use keyboard shortcuts to speed things up. We'll go ahead and use both. So scale, I'm going to grab the blue in the z-axis and shrink this down a bit so it's thinner. So, and then if we wanted to, we could also increase the size. And so there's a little trick. If you hit S, you can scale, and then if you hit Shift Z, it will actually scale in everything but the Z axis, because now we have it flat like we want. So if I hit Shift Z and now I drag, you can see it's only moving in the X and the Y. So I've made it a little bit bigger. And now I'm ready to start editing. What we're going to do is we're going to put some loop cuts in it, and we're going to create a back and extrude the back upwards. And then on the bottom of the chair, we're going to extrude some legs down. Okay. So let's go ahead and go into edit mode. So you can go into edit mode and using this drop box here, you can choose edit. You can also toggle back and forth. If you use tab, you can toggle back and forth. So there is a vertex mode, which is currently highlighted blue here. And you can see if we moved the point around using G, that we were able to select that. There is a edge select, so we can also do the same thing with edges. So here if I hit G, I can move that around. I'm going to right click and drop it back into place. And then finally there is face select. So here we can also move the face around, maybe make a parallelogram. If you accidentally click and leave it something like where you don't want it, remember you can go to edit and undo. The shortcut is Control Z. Okay. And also under that redo, Shift Control Z. So if you go back too far undoing, you can use Shift Control Z to restore something that you undid. All right, let's do some loop cuts. So you can notice under edit mode, there's all these similar tools from object mode, but then down here, there's some more kind of interesting tools, and we're going to kind of get into those. So let's go ahead and use loop cut. So we're going to cut, add some seams, basically some cuts into our chair seat here. So notice that after I click loop cut and I come back over, where I put my mouse on the left or the right, I get this little yellow guide showing me where my loop cut will be made. And then what you generally do is move it. And if you move your cursor to one end or the other here, you can see it shows up from front to back, in this case along the red or X axis. So we need to basically sort of make a Tic Tac Toe pattern with a big square in the middle. That's kind of what we're after. So I'm going to left click to click this guide in here. And before I do anything else, it's all highlighted still. You can kind of see over here, the whole thing is highlighted. So what I could do is I could take and move it using G, and I want to move it along the X axis. So GX. And I can just slide it up and then left click to lock it into place. All right, I need another one of those, so I'm going to come over to the middle of my side here, click, and you can see it's made another orange loop cut through the material. And while it's still selected, I'm going to use G and X, and I'm going to slide it down here. So what we're doing here is we're going to, I'm going to try and make it kind of even. It's hard to tell unless you come look at it. That's pretty close. One of these will be the back, and then one of these will be, and then the four of the corners are going to be the legs of the chair. So I need to now make another cut. I'm going to use G and Y this time to slide it back, and I'm going to try and make those little corners into squares, and those are going to be where the legs are, right? So now I'm going to make another one. And again, I'm going to use G and Y to slide this guy up. And now I have my geometry, basically what I need to create a simple chair. So to create the simple chair, what you can do is you can go into face mode. By the way, if you use the number buttons above your keypad, above the letters of your keyboard, the QWERTY keyboard, you hit 1 and it goes to vertex, 2 is edge, and 3 is face. I need to be in face mode because I'm going to be doing some stuff with faces, and I want to not be in loop cut. I'm still in loop cut mode, so I'm going to go to select right now so that I can select. And I'm going to hold the shift button. I'm going to click my corner and then shift, and I'm still holding shift. So I used shift to select each of these. Now that I have that selected, that would be good for the back of the chair, at least to get a start. I'm going to come down and use this tool here called Extrude. Extrude allows you to sort of push a surface along an axis, and that's exactly what I need to do. So when I left click Extrude, I get this little tab here, and if I pull that tab up, okay, and hopefully that's about right. I could go a little higher. It's not bad to add more. I can either Control Z, undo that, and start over. Maybe that's a little bit more like it. And then in the bottom here, what we're going to do is I'm going to go back and click select because I want to extrude just the corners here. So I'm on the bottom of the chair. I'm in edit mode. I have face select selected. I'm using my selection tool, and I'm going to click one of them, hold shift, click each of the 4 corners. So I'm shift left clicking 3 times. And now I can go back to my extrude tool, and I'm going to kind of look at the bottom of the chair here to get a better feel. And now I can grab this yellow tab here and pull down, and voila, there we go. We've got a simple chair. Now in the next tutorial, we're going to do some refinements to the chair, add a cushion, bevel the edges of the cushion to round them a bit, smooth shade it. We'll probably put in a couple of little openings in the back of the chair. Yeah, so we'll do some refinements. So thanks so much for your time and attention. I will see you in the next tutorial.